What's up, everybody? Welcome to the Underground Crypto Deep Dive Show. Welcome in. And we got some interesting things to talk about tonight. We're going to be focusing on the base ecosystem, Layer 2, on Ethereum. You should be at least loosely familiar with it. Plate Dog says, y'all hear that explosion? It's our crypto IQs. Yeah, there you go. He's got the right idea there. All right, cool. And this is something I thought was interesting. I wanted to share with you guys. I don't know what's going on there? It's like maybe computer got moved around a little bit. All right, cool. So I want to read this to you guys real quick, just to kind of set the pace, right? So you may not know this, but Base originally launched using Optimism's OP stack. So it launched on Optimism's OP stack, the same open source framework behind the Optimism ecosystem. That matters because the long-term vision isn't just a bunch of separate Ethereum Layer 2s competing in isolation. The idea behind the superchain is a shared infrastructure, multiple Layer 2 networks using the same technology so they can eventually become more interoperable. What does that mean? Raise that crypto IQ if you don't know. Throw a 111 in the chat if you don't know what interoperable means. More connected and easier for users to develop and move across. So I just wanted to make that point real quick. As you know, I've got lots of things to tell you about the base ecosystem. What is going on? Why is... Just trying to figure out why my camera all of a sudden is trying to pick up a background. It's like not there. All right, cool. So we're at the crypto bubbles, where we very often start off here. See what's going on in the chat. Plague Dog, shout out to Melissa, best mod in the game. I know Blues Guy will show up here shortly. Chris Goss in the house. My fellow lifer says 333. Says, yeah, Base. I forgot about Optimism. I used to hold some when it came out. I found some that I had bought, and it had gone from like $200 to like, I don't know, $750, and I sold it and bought other stuff. And I don't think I had bought a ton of it. It was just sitting in a wallet from a long time ago, and then I finally found the wallet. Gotta love when that happens. You just find a random $750. But I invested it in other stuff, and I mean, that stuff's probably worth less than $750 right now. So it was no home run, at least not yet. All right, a lot of things kind of up. Let's toggle and see our drop down of the top 1,000, right? By market cap, biggest of the day looks like 1%, 1.1, 1.3. I mean, not a big separation. 2 to 300, 3 to 400, 100 to 200, almost down a percent. Okay, very interesting. We got Near, UB, Wild, DXE, Ton, TIA, FET, Injective, Memecore, all with big pumps. Biggest one here looks like UB. Unibase, which Reliable J has talked about many, many times. I'm sure he'll be here shortly as well. And let's drop down 100 and see what's going on. It is Monday. It's a holiday. Shout out to everybody enjoying their Memorial Day weekend who got an extra day on their weekend that they normally wouldn't have got. I hope you guys are doing something, barbecuing, splashed around in a pool or something. Celebrate this Memorial Day. Grass is up 14.9%. EGN is up 11.4%. Blockstreet, Beat, Sky AI, Billions Network, Genius, Nexus are all down. Kosh Network's up 10.4%. Let's drop down another 100 here. Seems to be a little more promising. Pirate Coin finally getting some kind of pop. I knew it had to happen eventually. And with all the speculation on privacy coins and Zcash doing really well, I knew at some point Pirate Chain was going to pop. We'll take a look at it and see if we have some TA to do on the Pirate Chain. It says, I was surprised that the market was a little green for some altcoins. Yeah, I mean, it's not looking too bad. And that must mean that there's some speculation going on, right? PQ up 11%. This is GUA, or Super Fortune, which is a newer project that we've been going over. It's up 28.4%. So you definitely would have known about that project. I didn't call any pump or anything like that because it's not really my business. We're research, but you would have known about that project, as most people probably did not know what Super Fortune was. But you would have if you came to the Underground Crypto Deep Dive Research Show. And we don't usually go lower than 200 to 300 here. Kita up 23%. Let's go do our price rundown. Especially when I've been away for a day or two, I definitely love the price rundown. Kind of pulls me in, especially with the crypto bubbles, really pulls me in and tells me where we're at here. So 2.64 trillion overall market cap, down 0.2%. Bitcoin's at $76,846. Now it's red, but it's on the 7-day and the 24-hour, but not a lot, 0.2% on the 7-day. Ethereum's down 1.7% to basically $2,100 or $2,097 if you want to be real specific. BNB $660, actually up 2.5% in the last 7 days. XRP $1.34, so it's pulled back. Solana $84.36, down 1% in the last 7 days. Dogecoin got a flat 10 cents. I like to see it holding a higher than 9, so that's good. Down 3.2% in the last 7 days. Hyperliquid's just been crushing it. Hyperliquid is $60.27, and it is up it is up 26%, almost 27%. In the last 7 days. Zcash, also green on your 7-day, $639.95, up almost 15% on the 7-day. Cardano, 24 cents. Monero XMR, which has kind of been lackluster for the pump, right? Only up 0.5% compared to Zcash's almost 15%. I think that is saying something about how people feel about Zcash versus Monero. All right, we're caught up on the chat. So yeah, $384 there. Chainlink, $9.44. Canton Network, 16.5 cents, up 11%. Canton is one to watch for sure. Toncoin, XLM, at about 15 cents, up 1.3 in the last 7 days. And of course, SWI is $1.03, and it's down 2.3%. Very small bags on Tron keeps going up. Yeah, I mean, there was the echoes and the rumors that Tron was going to start having a little bit of a pump. Avalanche, $9.25, and Memecore back above $3. That's interesting. I like to see that. And we'll go down and see where Flare is at. I'm gonna guess here 85 by market cap. 86, it fell one. All right. It's going to be my new game where I try to remember what it was actually at. All right, 86 by market cap for Flare, and still in the top 100. Where are my people at? Drop a chat. Let me know that you're here. I'm excited to see all my undergrounders today. Let's go take a look at what is trending. As we stay on top of the market, I'm going to raise that crypto IQ. Of course, we always got some DeFi games lined up in the background. We have our Twitter doom scroll segment always loaded and ready to go. Top gainers, top losers, fear and greed index, altcoin index. We have so much stuff to go over, guys. Hope you guys are locking in and not losing faith in the crypto way. And I can feel that coffee kicking in. Love that. Plague Dogs, what's up, my man? Let's see, Palladium Network. Okay, this has been on the radar a few times. It's trending. We'll take a look at that in just a second. First, we'll run down Ondo, Near, Hyperliquid, Pudgy Penguins, FET. Love to see FET back on the table, up 19%. I hold some of that from long ago. Gotta be underwater. I don't think it was heavily underwater, but definitely slightly underwater. But with that 20% pump, that's helping. Grass is up 97.7%. Really interested with Grass. I gotta decide what I'm gonna do with Grass, to be honest with you, because I've been running it forever and I'm getting like Grass points, but like at some point they need to give me some kind of actual reward that matters. Otherwise, I'm gonna be out of that and move on. Solstice. Venus Token, Zcash, WorldCoin, Sui, Nillion, which is interesting, Octra I remember going over, very interesting, we'll go over that too, and Aave. So first things first, let's go over Palladium Network here, and it's chilling around 80 cents, almost 81 cents. 24-hour chart, I'd much rather be on a max chart. So let's see where we're at. 42.3 million in market cap. Max supply 52.6 million. It's a very random number. Usually it's like 1 billion or a trillion or something, 100 million, like something like that. It's a very specific number. And most of it's vested. Most of it's in the circulating supply. I like to see that. The 24-hour trading volume is dismal. So that seems very weird. That right there makes me want to stay away from it. 114,000? Oof, it's nothing compared to the 42.3 million in the market cap. Ethereum contract, no categories. So Ethereum ecosystem with no categories. Sketch. Let's check out the website here. Own real estate and earn passive crypto profits with PLLD. Love the concept, right? For sure. Palladium token backed by RWAs and algorithmic trading profits. So the coin itself is backed by RWAs. I'm like, what exactly is the play here, right? PLLD V3 token migration. I wish I knew when this, like if they had a date on this so I could know if this was 2 years ago, last week, when did this happen? It says the Palladium network ecosystem has officially migrated from PLLD Volume 2 to Volume 3. This upgrade introduces improved infrastructure, enhanced ecosystem compatibility, updated contract architecture, and prepares the network for the next phase of RWA integration, staking, swap systems, and automated trading utilities. That's very interesting that they're doing stuff. A lot of these projects come out, they have a website, they say a bunch of stuff, no matter what niche they're in, and then they never really do anything. I would say the ones that are more legitimate are actually doing something. The only official method, this is good for anybody, I guess, who sees this, who's into this. The only official method to swap PLLD V2 for V3 is through the migration interface available on the official Palladium Network website. And if you're doing any of that, I mean, we're on official website here. Here's your swap. It should take you straight there. This does look like an interesting project. I mean, the idea of it being backed, with an algorithm or whatever. I don't know why I can't say that word right now. And RWAs is a cool concept, but I also see how it could be fluctuating, right? And it could be good or bad. Sustainable tokenomics for continuous growth. Transparent, hard cap supply, vesting, buybacks, and burns, track allocation, and on-chain transaction in one place. So yeah, it sounds really cool. I'm not surprised that it has $42 million in it. It's a breakdown of everything that goes on there, all allocation, treasury reserves. Very interesting. We'll move on because I could spend way too much time on this. But definitely wanted to make sure you knew what it was. So RWAs, when you hear Palladium Network, think RWAs. Solstice, SLX, 47.3 million in market cap, very similar there. Hasn't been out for very long, literally came out today. It's on Solana and BNB Smart Chain. We'll check out their website in a minute. It's DeFi, yield farming, governance. Okay, pretty standard stuff there. Camsta in the house. Welcome in, welcome in. BT dropping like it's hot. Never mind. Watching BTC take a nosedive. Yeah, Iran or something. Wonder if we will dolphin dip here. Then I can long. Bank holiday in the U.S. Exactly, and that's why I'm not even really concerned with the trade. But we'll look at some TA and see what we think of it. I mean, Monday night is usually good, just not on a banking holiday week. Pretty much the whole week is completely ruined for any holiday during the week. It's really unfortunate because it makes you sit on your hands. The yield layer, the only Solana native yield protocol with a 3-year track record, every strategy, one surface asset. Sounds really cool. We might as well just launch the Web3 here, see what we're talking about. Total value locked, almost 400 million. It's up 10%. I don't know if that's on the month or the week or the day. Probably the month. That would be my guess here. Start earning yield with one-click simplicity or unlock higher returns with advanced DeFi strategy. So here's one click. Here's deep DeFi. You can easily one-click get a 7-day APY of almost 4%. Highest APY available, 9.2, so almost 10%. It says that's a deeper, more complicated DeFi structure there. And you got your normal stuff. You have vaults and yields, token vaults, right? And then you got swaps. Here's your dashboard, where you can monitor all your positions and everything you have going on if you connect your wallet, which is welcome to the real Web3. And that's also, okay, so that's a very interesting project if you're looking for somewhere to stake in the Solana ecosystem. They got 400 million total value locked, which is pretty good compared to most things. This is Nillion, not to be confused with billion. Infinite max supply, don't love that. AI, artificial intelligence, infrastructure, coinless launchpad, all of that stuff, right? Ethereum contracts, go to the website. Is it associated with Billions Network? I don't think so. Humanity's first blind computer. I thought all computers were blind. I mean, unless you have a webcam or something. Anyways, Nillion unlocks DAOs and all of these other things. They're just going to keep custody rolling through there. Nillion's decentralizes trust for sensitive data in the same way that blockchains decentralize transactions. We're in the midst of a data renaissance. Emerging ecosystems like personalized AI, decentralized trading, and identity risk the safety, the power control of important data by entrusting it to one entity. I messed that sentence up for sure. The Nillion thesis, decentralized private data will be the backbone of tomorrow's biggest industries, opening up a vast white space of Web3 use case and verticals. I got a little techie on there. How's everybody doing out here? Asian market can still pull some moves. Yeah, they definitely can. They don't care about American holidays, that's for sure. There's a faucet, so that must mean that there's a testnet. Yep, testnet docs for Nillion. Okay, very interesting. I wish it would go away. Thanks. AI, DPen, and pets, which is privacy enhancing technology built directly into Nillion's infrastructure. So this is something that is kind of specific to this project. I've never really seen pets. The abbreviation, obviously, we're not talking about dogs and cats here. Privacy enhancing technology built directly into Nillion's infrastructure. Guys, tell me, is my mic too hot? Somebody tell me if my microphone is too loud. I did have to mess with the settings for some reason. It forgot like all of my settings in OBS. That was nice. I don't know if it updated or something. I think that was all I really wanted to go over here. Let's bounce over to TradingView real quick. CoinTrader Live says thoughts on SWI name service. Let's pull that up real quick. What's the ticker for it? Is it literally? I doubt it's SNS, because that's what they have for Solana name service. What's the ticker for that CoinTrader Live? I mean, I know what a name service is. I just wanted to find the actual project. Because I remember seeing something come out on SWI about that. Or maybe it was on Solana. There's been a couple naming services. There's one on Base that's out. You know, if you go to like onchain GM and stuff, you can find a lot of them. I mean, I don't know what there's a lot to say about thoughts on it. Thoughts on it as a project. Your name is NS, okay. Your name is like CoinTrader Live, so it makes me wonder, are you asking about like, you know, what the price action's going to do, or are you asking about the project kind of overall? Because if we're asking about price action, then we kind of got to go maybe compare it to other naming services, right? That are newer, not like Ethereum naming service, which has been around for forever, but maybe some other projects like the Solana one, and see how they've performed. So this one's been around since what, November 13, 2024. So it's not new. Chart, it doesn't look good, but it's not really intimidating. A lot of things in crypto look like this, right? And welcome in. I've never seen your name in the chat before. Welcome in, welcome in. Let's see. Says, oh, Reliable J in the house. Curious if it will recover if the bull or if it's dead. Well, I will say that a lot of charts look like this, and then when they wake up, you'll just get this big pop. We have a lot of different things that pop up like that. Sorry, getting very weird text messages. All right, so 4.6 million in market cap, so it's very small. We can pull like a trading view chart on it. As far as what it's going to do, I can't tell you what it's going to do. I don't give financial advice, but I can look at it on a chart for you. Let's pull up like a daily, right? I'll tell you, it doesn't really look good. And, you know, here we always deep dive and research. We're all about raising that crypto IQ. So basically, you got to think naming services, how much is demand for them? How much do people really need them? What is their, you know, business model? How much are they charging people? Is it a one-time thing? Do you have to pay year over year? The money they get paid, does any of it go to buybacks or burns or market cap or anything? Or is it all just going to a treasury? Those are important questions, right? L-O-O-O-Zo. Let me say it right. Welcome in, welcome in. Green Fingers says, sup gang, missed my break today listening while driving. Let's go. Welcome in, Green Fingers. So basically, like the whole idea of the business of a naming service in the first place. Let's go to their website. So let's just say I wanted like underground crypto, right? And we'll search it. I just wonder how much they want to cost me. So it cost me $10 USD. It's very affordable. Is that year over year? A one-time buy? It looks like it's a one-time buy, but I'm not sure. 2 million. Okay. And again, I know what a naming service is, but I don't specifically know a lot about the SWE naming service. And then I guess the next question becomes, who really needs a naming service? Who is it really important to? You know, maybe there's some heavy DeFi people who are interested in it and having some kind of, you know, domain over there. But like, is big business into naming services on things like Ethereum and Solana and stuff like that? Big projects, do they buy that kind of stuff? Who really wants it, and what purpose does it serve? I'm kind of, you know, asking that as a vague question for people to look into. So daily's kind of bottoming out of here again. I mean, it doesn't look great, and it just keeps going lower and lower. I mean, the most typical thing you can do is just go to a time frame like the hour or the 15-minute and wait for it to get above a 200-day moving average, and that would be the beginning of some kind of move. If you're holding this, you're mostly just kind of waiting, and it doesn't really look amazing. But if the SWE ecosystem wakes up, then maybe you can have some kind of revival of that project. And if you get a bull market, you're probably going to get some kind of price action in it. Now, where you got in, and is it enough to get you to where you want to be? Those are different questions, right? And then I would almost rather look at it over here on actual trading view. Let's see. We'll go here. Because then I'll have my averages and all that. It's not worth trying to plug it in over there on CoinGecko's plugin for TradingView because it doesn't remember it. All right, we'll get NS on, I guess, Mexi. They usually have good volume. All right, make sure we're on the right thing. We are. I mean, you're pretty much under everything here. Bit of a failed rally there above the 15. I don't know. I'll tell you what it looks like. Looks like you're going lower, man. It's funny too because people ask about projects and it's like it's hard to give a straight answer because it's like, are we talking about price action? You got to go see if the project is active on social medias. Are they still building? Are they kind of just faded off into irrelevance and they're not really doing anything, or they're not basically really pushing their project anymore? Stuff like that. I mean, it looks like it's going to go lower to 0.013 would be your target on that. But it also, your bullish and your bearish case here, you know, is that you get this inverted head and shoulder and dig your way out of it. But unless BTC and the rest of the market does that, it's not going to do it by itself, and Bitcoin tumbles and everything tumbles, and then SWI name service just pumps up, you know, back to where it was. I'm sure you know that. Coin Trader Live says God tier analysis, brother. Hey, man, I appreciate that. Salute to Green Fingers. He's doing the salute emoji. Welcome in, everybody. Smash that like button for me. Welcome to the Underground Crypto Deep Dive Show. I want to look at BTC real quick. Here's the 15-minute. And let's see if we can make any sense. Banking holiday going on in the U.S. Looks like the 15 minutes kind of falling under the 200 there. See how many candles is that? 1, 2, I guess you could say 3, but really 2 under the 15. So are you gonna, and the stochastic is bottoming out? No dolphin dip. Should have held the short or a legendary place at the long. Who's got the cojones? Yeah, I'm not interested in even trading this week. Like Lifer always says, not trading is a superpower. Feeling like you always have to be in a trade is a lot of times how you get chewed up on a week like this. Basically, the entire week is low liquidity, and it's going to feel like weekend trading all week. And you're probably just going to get chewed and chopped. Maybe you catch a good one, but most of the time you're just going to get chewed and chopped. So I'm just going to stay the heck out of it. If anything, when it gets like that, what I really want to do is bounce to like the 4-hour and look at it on a 4-hour chart. And the first thing that pops out here would be a complex shoulder, shoulder, head, shoulder, shoulder, and you even have that shoulder, head, and shoulder in that, right? So there you go. A lot of shoulder, head, and shoulder. And then in the midst of that, you do have this pretty beautiful shoulder, head, and shoulder, potentially. So in a time of uncertainty, the only trades I would want to take this week is to really bounce down to like the 15, the 5, and track it. If I really want to be in the sauce all day, like if I really want to wait and watch it all day, maybe the 3 and the 5, but in reality, the 15, right? I just can put a line right at the 200, throw an alert on that line, and then I'm good. And I'll just wait for the 15-minute to get up and flag out, just like I would normally do on the 1 or the 3. Lifer Vision, shout out to the Lifer, taught me everything I know. But I'll just do it on a bigger time frame because everything is so lackluster liquidity-wise. Greenfinger says, how long has the Lifer been trading? Over 20 years. Exact amount of time, I don't know, but over 20 years for sure, without a doubt. And one of his, one of his main mentors is an OG in the game. Most traders who've been around for that long, 15, 20 years, know his mentor. All right, so that's BTC. I don't see any reason to really spend a ton of time on this, to be completely honest with you. I like to make life easy for myself. I usually set a little lower than the 200, let it come down, and now I have an alert. And if we get some upward action, there we go. I'm not really interested in trying to, you know, buy the bottom here and hold, because you could go to 69,000. You know, it's not off the table. So why would you want to get in here and be like, oh, it's going to bounce, and then it doesn't? Now, there's a good chance it will bounce. But in all reality, I would say that, you know, if you were very unfortunate and this drops down to like 69,000 or 72 or whatever, and you get in there, you're probably getting liquidated and wrecked. What's the point? A lot of people love to try to catch that falling knife. I don't think that's a really great idea. Basically, if you're going to do that, like Turtle Soup, like the money printer model, you know, make sure you have an actual strategy, which is a pattern that you look for time after time, and you're not just throwing your money in at every large 15-minute, 1-hour dip, right? And thinking you're always going to get a pump. In an uptrend, you'll a lot of times get lucky with that. But when it flips to a downtrend and you're still trying to trade like that, it's going to chop you up. Not financial advice, just my own experience there. All right, let's pop back to CoinGecko. Shout out to everybody who's here with me tonight. Man, I got some really cool ideas for the channel. Like I always say, I'm just working on implementing them. It's a lot of work to do it. I don't even want to speak many of them, because not that I'm worried about anybody taking them, just more that, like, I don't want to put expectations too high to see how fast I can get it out. So I'll move on from that. Fear and Greed Index at 34. Yesterday it was at 30, so we're up a little bit. 7 days ago, 25. So we've been trending up, even though a month ago we were at 47. So it's up and down and up and down. That's how the market runs. We're at 34. We spent a ton of time in extreme fear. You gotta realize, like, when I'm doing the show every day, and we spent tons of time at like 5 and 8 and 12 and, you know, 16, all in extreme fear. It feels pretty good to be at 34, right in the middle of fear, even if I know we've been a little bit higher. But I don't really want to see us go to greed or extreme greed very quickly, because that usually pulls back very quickly as well. So that shouldn't be lost on anybody how that works, right? How long have you guys been following the Fear and Greed Index? How much do you guys trust and rely? If you would have bought when the Fear and Greed Index was at 5 or 8, you would be doing pretty well. The Lifer talks about it a lot. Shout out to the Crypto Lifer. So we have SLX, or Solstice, right? This is what's trending. Let's make it the top 20 and not the top 10. Now we're over on Crypto Rank. We did what was trending on CoinGecko. Now we're on Crypto Rank. Crypto Rank tends to give us a lot more coins that are new, that are trending, that are maybe not generated a token yet. It just gives us a different list than CoinGecko does. So that's why I like to include it and use it, of course, Fear and Greed Index. So Solstice, we already went over Solstice, right? It's at about 20 cents. It is a Solana project. Then you have this Phi chain, which is interesting. Sounds like it has something to do with like DeSci or physics or something, but I'm guessing just off the name. Sidechain is a decentralized network using idle smart devices for shared computing power. Okay, there's a lot of these projects. I'm going to make it brief because I say this all the time. But AI needs resources, you name it, GPU, memory storage, whatever it is, doesn't matter. Anything a computer would typically need, AI needs, right? And not to mention a lot of other things need as well in tech industry, but AI very specifically. From oracles and data feeds that can be trusted and verified, all kinds of stuff. So there's a ton of these projects. Grass is one. Grass is more for bandwidth of your internet that you're not using, getting paid off. There's a link in the description. I like it. I can't say that they've given me a bunch of grass tokens, which is kind of what I was hoping for. But I hope that they convert at some point. Now, my own due diligence, very busy all the time. I haven't gone to really look to see if I can convert them. So I don't want to say anything sideways about it, because I need to go see if I can actually convert them to, you know, grass tokens or something like that. But anyways, my point is there's a lot of these projects. What was the other one? Bless. BLSS was another one. The whole idea is this. you could build a huge data infrastructure, right? A huge, warehouse out in the middle of somewhere. And you see all of the flack and the whiplash that you get politically and stuff in America. Other people in other countries, I don't know. It's probably worse, to be honest with you. But my point is, another way of going about it is just saying, hey, there's a ton of devices everywhere that are sitting idle, phones that are not being used all the time, computers that sit on people's desks, TVs, whatever. You can link them all to a network, and we'll pay you a small amount of money comparatively, and then they'll, on the back end, sell those resources out to AI and stuff like that. And that is the whole idea. I keep saying it because AI is so popular that one of these is going to become extremely big. PyChain or PhiChain, I don't know why I called it PyChain, but PhiChain, is it the one? I don't know. It's been out 1.1 years, and this is kind of the first time I ever heard of it. Squid. So when it says NA across, there's no token generation event. TGE, you will see it represented as a lot of times. A token generation event is when the token comes out. There's a project like Squid. They have an X, they have a Twitter. Maybe they post over there. Maybe they're active on social media's Discord. When we talk about a coin came out, we're talking about a token generation event. We're not talking about the first time that they, responded to somebody in their Discord, or the first time they tweeted on X, or whatever we're calling it nowadays. So anyways, this is Squid. They've raised $13.5 million, Polychain capital funding and backers. What I like about CryptoRank is I like how it's set up that you can look at all of your, funding rounds. You can look at who is investing them as far as venture capitalists, and then they even put them in tiers, which I think is really interesting. When you come here, you'll see like tier 1, tier 2, tier 3, tier 4. And so what really matters, in my opinion, probably just tier 1 and tier 2, right? Polychain Capital is probably the only one anybody here would know, if they even knew any of them. And of course, you have venture capitalists and angel investors. No real reason to get into the difference between those two. But what is Squid? Squid provides an API and front-end dev tools to build cross-chain swaps, bridges, and generic transactions. So it provides API and front-end developer tools. So it is definitely a building project. It's made for building, right? So Squid is a cross-chain swap. It'll give us a little bit more detail. Cross-chain swap and liquidity routing protocol on Axelar network. Squid utilizes existing DEXs to swap and send any native token between chains. This can be done via SDK, front-end, or contract directly. Swaps are composable with XLR, generalized messaging, or message passing. Yeah, it's going to get techie. I'm going to lose you guys a little bit. So Squid can enable one-click transactions between any application users. Here's the takeaway. It's useful for developing and building, specifically on the XLR network. That's what you need to know about Squid. AIW3. The ticker, I don't like it. The ticker reminds me of like World War III or something. I don't know why. It's just the vibe I got. It's like AI World 3. I don't know. I'm just messing with you guys. Okay, $2 million total raised. LD Capital. Do they have any like high tier backers? No, that's not what we wanted. No, thank you. All right. I'll get away from that because it's not as important. So AIW3 is a Web3 AAAS platform for AI agents that automate on-chain trading strategy execution. I mean, what's the three biggest hot categories right here? Anything institutional service related or institutional serving related projects, AI, across the board from agentic networks to, AI agents, and then of course privacy coins. So this fits right into that narrative. That's all the coins that we're seeing come out. The last couple of weeks, all the coins have been literally AI infrastructure type projects or institutional services, like custodying the keys for a big institution or something like that, right? So you can create, manage, and deploy AI agents on-chain trading for on-chain trading. So this is very specifically trading, I guess. The core product integrates strategy development, AI-powered automation, visual backtesting. So that's pretty cool. Visual backtesting sounds really cool. Let's go look at their website. They've raised $2 million. Bots are bots. I don't really feel any which way about it, to be honest with you. Okay, I was like, nothing's happening. AIW3 airdrop coming soon. Here's participants, points earned. Join the airdrop now. No, thank you. The first Web3 AAAS platform. Agents as a service. I knew I'd seen that before. You got the lobster. The idea here is ClaudeBot, right? A lot of stuff around ClaudeBot. And I mean, if I could kind of come and give my own strategy and put it together with a bot, I'd be very happy about that. Yep, they're not available in my region. I guess I would have to use like a VPN or something. Okay, and they've only raised $2 million. They're not the talk of the town just yet, so we'll watch them. We'll keep an eye on them. A lot of what we're going over here are projects that aren't out yet, and for doing this, I've been doing this live stream show, you know, Monday through Saturday, 6 days a week. Actually, we were doing it 7 days a week for a long time, for about 7 months now. So I've seen projects come out, no token generation event, brand new, not a big deal. RaveDAO is one of them, and several others, and then at some point, they just went parabolic, right? Like RaveDAO did. And it's like, yo, we knew about that coin before they even had a coin. Like, we knew about the project before they ever even had a coin. So that's why this has value, in my opinion. So ClaudeMax. ClaudeMax, of course, I think is going to have something to do with ClaudeBot. How about that? CoinMax is a decentralized platform with AI copy trading and market-making yield vaults. I think a lot of people are over speculating on this whole bot trading. Don't think it's a good idea. Thank you, Melissa, for showing off those custom emojis. I greatly appreciate that. It's been a long time. Where is the blues guy? He's got to say his name and he'll usually appear. So when everybody is using bots instead of trading themselves, and they've been using bots for a lot longer than you would think, the high level people, right? The market is going to be very interesting, and then you're going to have bots trying to counter trade bot, and it's just going to get really crazy if you ask me. So I look forward to seeing how that plays out. We got Clearpool or Cpool. That's 4.6 years old. Nillion we went over. Fala. I haven't talked about Fala in a long time. It's a privacy-enhanced permissionless computation protocol. So super exciting retail stuff. Just kidding. All right. So dedicates itself to be the infrastructure of Web3 privacy protection, providing confidential computing services for all blockchain in the Polkadot ecosystem, based on substrate-built confidential smart contracts applying TEE blockchain hybrid structure. It's interesting if you like the Polkadot ecosystem. Not a fan of Polkadot ecosystem personally, so it is what it is. LO00 says, Nil catching my eye. Nillion. Blues, where you at? Right? I need to like have somebody text him. No clues on blues, right? Reliable J, do you have blues number? Can you text him, let him know we're live? He probably like fell asleep or something. He's back at work now. It's probably taking a lot out of him. Let's see. But yeah, Nillion is interesting. Billions Network is what it reminds me of. I thought there might be some connection there. It's not necessarily. It is 1.2 years old, so it's not like a new coin that just got launched. It's a good thing. It's also doesn't, like, if it was a brand new coin, it might get a little bit more pop and hype, and it doesn't have the market history to like kind of bring people down when they look it up. On the flip side, it's only 1.2 years old. It's not like it's from 2015 or something crazy old where people just kind of write it off, right? Okay, PopDex. I mean, it's got DEX in the name, so there you go. PopDex is a perpetual DEX focused on capital efficiency and value return to contributors. Interesting concept. I like that. See, it doesn't say anything. Its core product emphasizes capital efficiency, efficient trading, Deep liquidity, optimized trading experience, mechanisms and return platform value. Okay, so active traders would get, some kind of return of value is what they have kind of built in here. It's all the things you would expect it to say. Deep liquidity, optimized trading. So of course they reach for that. That's what they want to do, but can they do it better than Lighter? Can they do it better than, pretty much all the other DEXs as well? Can they do it better than Jupiter? Probably not, as far as deeper liquidity goes. So they've raised $30 million. Foresight Ventures looks like is the only investor here, so that's very interesting. Perpetuals and DEX. I mean, I don't know what else you really want to know about it. If you've ever used an exchange, pretty much there you go. And there's too many of these in my opinion. If they're real niched out, specialized for different ecosystems and stuff, then they're probably gonna do something. If they all just compete with each other, there's probably gonna be some clear winners and some very clear losers. Rub the lantern and the blue sky will appear. Exactly, that's what we're hoping for. Jimmy Villain says, been a minute underground. Love the channel. Been busy remodeling. Hey, well, shout out to you, man, for working hard. I love that. I mean, most of you guys know that I also work and have worked in trades for a long time, so big respect to that. And I appreciate you stopping by and saying what's up. I understand when you can't be here, and I love it when you are here. So shout out to Jimmy Villain. He's always been very good to the channel. So K25.ai, I can only imagine what this has to do with, is a live streaming and real-time prediction market for sports and esports with AI Oracle resolutions. There's just a lot of new startups and people doing all kinds of stuff with AI. And this seems like one of them. I know there's a lot of AI predictions and things like that where they want to sell you basically their prediction, but their prediction is just based off of AI, and I don't know if that's better than having some person who studied it for forever, versus AI. Who's better, I don't really know. As far as calling like who's going to win the baseball game tonight or whatever, so you can bet on it, I'm not sure who's better, AI or just like somebody who's been watching baseball their entire life. So $2 million raised from New Gen IVF Group. So New Gen Group, not familiar with them. And I don't want to spend forever on this. We have a lot of things to get through. So Chimp X AI. There you go. Here's a new one on the radar. They got a better name than a lot of the other ones, right? They're past seed. Okay. So they've raised $3.4 million. Chimp X AI is an AI-powered DeFi platform for easy cross-chain management. So management and trading via chat. Trading via chat. That's very interesting. Mojo AI. I like the name. I like the branding, and that is very important. Mojo AI DeFi for everyone. Let Mojo AI manage hours of DeFi in minutes without gas, it says. Go to the super app. Okay, so they're in invite only. It's invite only for now. Connect your Solana wallet to continue. Well, what's the point of connecting the wallet if I don't have an invite code? So you probably need to go to their Discord or something like that to get into ChimpX AI. Pirate Chain with a little bit of pop R. That's probably worth looking at on some on the chart. United Stables. Never heard of that. 0.4 years. Very new. Superverse. CETA Protocol. Unibase. Shout out to Reliable J. I think of that all the time when I see Unibase. He nailed that one. Near Protocol, Horizon, and Yom. And the latest call from Reliable J, if you want to call it a call, that he's talked about is OpenServe. So I'm keeping an eye on that one. And it's already pumped a little bit from when he talked about it originally. What is this YOM? They've raised $3 million. Is a cloud gaming through a decentralized energy efficient edge network built by the community. Whatever that means. I mean, it's gaming, right? So cloud gaming network built by blockchain technology leveraging global DePIN, decentralized physical infrastructure network, if you don't know what that stands for, of GPU-powered nodes to enable game streaming across devices without the need for local hardware. Powered by edge computing, peer-to-peer network, Unreal Engine 5, that's cool, AI optimistic. Okay, this sounds like a really cool project. Let's see, it says they've raised $3 million, but here... Oh, that's a valuation. Raising $50,000. Okay. Well, the valuation is $52 million. It's weird. Recently migrated from their old Solana contract to a new PQ contract. So they've decided they're going to go off of Solana and onto PQ. That's a very, very interesting move for a project. Their Explorer is PQ and not Solana. I'm surprised they didn't keep both. If our project's going to start moving to PQ, is that going to become normal? It's very interesting that their community decided, hey, we want to do that. All right. It's very interesting. So I got a lot of things that I want to get into, but first and foremost, we want to tell you a story about some crypto that really sets the tone for what we're trying to raise your crypto IQ about. Now, we are Monday. We're setting the narrative, setting the stream for the series that will go all week. Saturday is the finale. Now, Ethereum succeeds in attracting. So we're talking about Ethereum. We're really talking about Base. Some of it might be redundant. If you believe hearing information you already know is a negative, I highly, highly, highly recommend you to rethink that. Repetition is the father of learning. There's difference between I've heard that and I would say that I know it because I've heard it before, and like I use it in conversations. I know it well enough that I talk about it. Those are two totally different things. One is like I've heard it before and I remember hearing it. Two is repetition and I know the subject matter well. So let's raise that crypto IQ. So they succeed in attracting, I mean, nobody would debate this, right? Ethereum has tons of developers, users, DeFi, NFT, stablecoins, and applications. But success creates pressure. And I think they're probably going to give you a little bit of a rundown. They're going to give you a little bit of a rundown about why, layer 2s are needed on Ethereum in general. But success, it creates pressure. As activity increased, so did fees and congestion and competition for block space. Now, there's a lot of things I could go into here about, like, what is block space? Why would there be competition for it? What is a layer 2? Like, we're going to kind of slowly move on that. But if anybody has any good questions or just any questions in general, I shouldn't say good because there is no such thing as a dumb question. Drop them in the chat. I'd be glad to help you understand what we're talking about. This introduces a major challenge, right? How can Ethereum scale without sacrificing decentralization? That becomes the question. One proposed answer is a layer 2 ecosystem. So we're going back a little bit in the decentralized blockchain technology history and where we've come from to really lay out the groundwork for what even is Base as a layer 2. Networks that process activity more efficiently while still relying on Ethereum security. And remember, Ethereum fees and things were a big issue, and that plays a big part in what we're talking about, even though it's gotten much better because of layer 2s. That is where Base enters the picture, right? What makes Base especially interesting is not just the technology, but the company behind it as well, which I like. A lot of other projects that come out, think of like Matic, right? Polygon, now known as Pole. We don't have like a really big publicly traded company to connect that to give confidence to say, hey, they make money, right? But we do with Base, and that's why I think Base will probably be the clear winner there, although they're all going to probably work together and be very interoperable and specialized, and I don't think that we're really looking at which one's going to be the successful layer 2 and the other ones are just going to die off. What am I talking about? Polygon-matic is a layer 2, Arbitrum is a layer 2 on Ethereum, and of course Coinbase, which is the focus of this week's series. So Coinbase has already access to millions of crypto users. They already make fees on their app. They're already super well established and have a publicly traded, stock in the American market and I'm sure abroad. So now it is building infrastructure designed to bring more activity on chain. This suggests something important. The future of crypto adoption may not happen entirely on Ethereum's mainnet itself, and maybe through ecosystems built around it, which makes sense as Ethereum just becomes so big. You're kind of going to need these extra layers to manage what's going on and make it, really run at the speed and the rate that we're really looking for. It's kind of like AI. Everybody is rather running for the hills or very excited about AI, somewhere in between. But AI without the infrastructure, without the ability, without all the resources like we were talking about earlier, without oracles feeding data that it can trust in real time, is not going to do anything crazy. It's not going to do anything amazing either, depending on what side that you fall on with that. Well, it's a very similar scenario here as we talk about Ethereum with layer 2s. Without these layer 2s, without these ecosystems being built out, interoperability across all blockchain technology, you're just not going to get the vision of the Web3 world that you're looking for or not looking for, depending on where you fall in that conversation. And I would say most people here probably are pro-bullish, I like that, are pro cryptocurrency blockchain technology. Let's look at our top gainers, top losers, right? So top gainer, Kita, Grass, DeXe, Near Protocol, TIA, WorldCoin, and Aegon Layer or Cloud. I mean, Kita is crushing it here with 25.4%. Grass, again, I have been, using Grass for a really long time. Go ahead and pull Grass up. Let's open. I don't know why it wouldn't let me connect here. All right, Grass is connected. There we go. Let's go open the dashboard and just take a quick look at it, right? I'm not signed in. Okay. All right, we'll deal with that another time. I'm always signed in, so that was very weird. I wanted to just show you the back dashboard. It's very simple to use. I did disconnect it earlier when I was messing with something, and that's probably why I'm logged out. So let's see what the top losers of the day are. Sky AI. I mean, people were asking a lot about Sky AI last week, and I didn't really have a good answer for them. Never financial advice, so I wasn't going to tell them if it goes up or down. We looked at some charts and stuff. I think you get a little bit of rally with BTC. Everybody gets overly confident, right, with altcoins and stuff very quickly. And then if BTC starts to fall down and it's not the beginning of the bull market and there is still some, then a lot of those people are going to get crushed because they position themselves probably way too early. And we were looking to get above 83,500, 84,000 and hold it for a couple of weeks to really confirm, triple check, confirm that we were actually in a bull market, and that has not happened yet. So we could be Elliott wave theory, we could just be, right on that little relief rally, a bull trap, a dead cat bounce on the higher time frame, whatever you want to call it, and there could be a continuation down to say 55,000, 50,000. People, I think, all the way down to what, 38,000 I hear people say. So it just depends. Now, Venice token is a very, very strong token. So when I see it pull back almost 10%, I kind of hope that we have some bearishness this week and Venice token pulls back like a nice, down to like $10 or something. It would really crush a lot of people, but it's good as a product. And we've known about Venice token since it came out. And I thought it looked pretty cool. And then we moved on with a lot of stuff. I mean, this show could be 24/7. This could be a 24/7 show, guys, because we could deep dive and get super niched into every project. If we did that, we would have known that Venice token had a very solid product from the get-go, and we probably would have got into it much earlier. Those days are coming. Those days are coming as I build the channel, as it brings in some income and I can focus more on it. Now, where do y'all want to go from here? That's the question. What's your guys' favorite part of the channel? What is your favorite thing that we do on the channel? I would really love to know. I love the feedback. Let me know. So this is the X crypto doom scroll, right? So we're under the crypto hashtag. We can change the hashtags. These are the top. I like to just go to latest, right? We ignore things that are spammed, like this trade with Jack. He just spams his Forex signals. It's kind of stupid, but we do find some really interesting things in here sometimes, right? And maybe there's better hashtags to go under. I've just been going with straight crypto because that seems like the one that has the most wealth, right? So here's a coin called Filthy Community Takeover. This is basically us trying to stay, just like we stayed on top of what's trending and more like CoinGecko, Crypto Rank, that's all aggregated from different places. This is us trying to stay on top of what is trending on social media. Crypto Twitter or Crypto X is where most crypto-related social media stuff lives, right? Very little over on Facebook, very little on other places. So this is the place to be. Follow me, Crypto Ron with a blue check mark, and you could type @_ground_crypto, but if you just type in Crypto Ron, you're more likely to get me. Again, blue check mark. Check out the thumbnail, make sure it matches. All of that good stuff. There are imposters already. You don't have to be very big to have imposters. They just need to fake you so they can trick somebody and make some money. You don't have to have millions of followers to have imposters. Anyways, this is Filthy. Floor looks established here at 500 market cap. $500 market cap? 500 million? What are we talking about here? If a few people load up bags, we can easily 10x this in minutes, right? And this was from 38 seconds ago. So do we want to buy some Filthy? That's the question. Is this a random post? How well established they are and other things? I have no idea. And let's see, he sent that tweet out. So you can type in, was it Filthy? I think is what it was, right? And we're gonna pull, yeah, literally $500, right? He wasn't lying. It is like $500. Other than the intro song, I like Hamster's bedtime stories. That's hilarious. It's all good, by the way. Okay. Super low liquidity, right? This thing is nothing burger. He just posted about it 38 seconds ago. I thought it would be fun to just kind of like pull it up. This is like Deck Screener, but for CoinGecko, Gecko Terminal, if you're not familiar with it. And yeah, this looks like a meme coin based off of Home Alone, the movie, where he says, keep the money, you filthy animal. The kid plays the movie. So that's kind of what they're going here. It's very memorable, I guess, but who knows? I don't know how he would necessarily market this other than him posting on X. So we'll see. But it'd be interesting to see what happens there. And again, it's got like $500 in it, so your odds of like going lower, there's not a whole lot lower you could go. So you could throw $10 in there, see if you can 100x it or something. Doesn't seem like a bad, throw $1 in it, see if you can turn it into $10. Why not? Take a shot. And they spam the same thing. When we've done this before, we didn't have so much trouble with them like spamming the same thing over and over. We had a lot more legitimate posts, so it's kind of annoying to see that. Soul Slay. Soul integration on Soul Slay is seamless. Fast transactions always. Here's an invite code. I'm not going to click that. But some kind of game. I wish you could just like block somebody. Can I just like never? Yeah, let's block this person. That's the move. Yeah, these people are just doing the same thing over and over. Let's just block these people so that we don't ever have to look at their stuff. All right, and I guess this person's the next one. Block. If we block all of these spammers here, then we'll actually have a good timeline, huh? I thought we already... Oh, unblock him. He's already blocked. Anyways. Very interesting. Like I said, usually it's not like this. The last few times we've done this, it hasn't been the same spam post over and over. Yeah, this is trash. All right, we're moving on. We'll go somewhere else real quick. Let's see, has this moved at all in the 38 seconds? Are they mostly selling off on their $500 here? Let's see, there's some buys coming in. Heck, I'll take a dollar shot on this thing. Where is, one thing that I always mess up on here, where's the contract address on Gecko Terminal? Pump.fun. Avalanche, all chains. Liquidity. Yeah, where is the contract address? Okay, here it is. Then go over to, I got like $4 in my wallet here. We'll do a quick swap. Yeah, it's not even, I can't even find it. It doesn't even show up. That's how, but it should show up, so that's what's weird there. Okay. Contract address doesn't even show up. How else would you find it? Here it is. Creator's address. Ooh, that's not what I want. Okay. It's another drop coming for BTC. Very possible. Trying to buy $1 worth of this thing just for the heck of it, see what happens, because I see a couple buys coming in, right? That was still like 10 minutes ago. All right. The value 83 cents. Yeah, see, I was trying to do the same thing. Like, let me put $1 in it and see what happens, because I mean, I could care less. I'll take $1 shot. It's like $1 scratch off, right? People will be like, oh, I'd never buy $1 of this crappy. And it's like, yeah, but you'd buy a $5 scratch off, probably. Most of you would. Here we are. Pool. Here's the filthy. Here's the contract. Not really sure how I missed that the first time around, but I did. All right, let's swap here. And of course I should pull it up, but I just want to do this quickly. No result found. So like I can't even swap into it. That's where I start getting really confused. It's like you can't even buy this. I do use like this to look at coins a lot, but I don't normally buy, tiny little crap coins. So I'm over here trying to figure out why don't they just have it where you can link your wallet, and if they have the coin, it just automatically connects and you can just swap in and out. I would assume they would have that. Anybody know? I'm going to leave it alone, I guess, because I can't figure out how to buy it. It doesn't come up in my Soulflare wallet and that kind of stuff. I guess you got to get it from a different DEX. Do they give you DEXs? Nope, they don't give you DEXs either. Oh, well. It was worth a thought, right? It was worth a thought. Let's look at the liquidation map for BTC, as we often do. And this is over on CoinGlass. All right, so yeah, like Campsta said, we're kind of rolling over. We will pull it up on Weeks here, where I like to trade. Link in the description. It says, is another drop coming? I don't know. Let's check it out. We're on the 1 minute here. I think it's probably better if we look at like the 15, right? I mean, you got the drop for sure. Are you going to make a bearish continuation pattern, right? I don't know. It's going to be like, and I'm just projecting here, right? I'm not saying it's going to do this, but we project. We see if price action does fall into our projection, and then potentially we take the move. We are in a downtrend, right? So from the big macro to whatever, like, unless that bounce that we had on the macro is the end, you are still in a downtrend. And so far it kind of looks that way. So it looks like maybe 76,100 incoming. I mean, I would wait for the pattern to fill out, right? Like, come up, 200 comes over. It's the exact same thing that you're doing. Bullishly, you're doing bearishly. I hope everybody understands that. You're waiting for the 200 to come in, the 21 to come in, right? So if this was the other way around, right? We're waiting for the 21 to cross the 200, right? We're waiting for the 21 to come into a flag on price action that gives you a measured move, right? This would normally be the measured move going up, but we're going down. Hopefully everybody understands that, because that's basically what you would be looking for here if you were going to short. And the short probably will cook in this environment. So I might even take the short. We'll see. Close stops, all that stuff. So a lot of what we're talking about is the base ecosystem. And some of it might be a little redundant, but again, repetition is the father of learning. So what is Base? It's a layer 2 network built on Ethereum infrastructure. Why? Ethereum needs scaling. Ethereum faces congestion, high gas fees, and limited throughput. A lot of this is getting taken care of in my experience with using Ethereum lately. I've liked it, but it's not perfect, right? Layer 2s do what they do, right? So they process transactions more efficiently while settling back to Ethereum. Think of optimism and rollups, right? So what is OP Stack though? What is that? Shared infrastructure developed through Optimism's collective ecosystem, also known as Superchain. Why Coinbase built Base in the first place? Well, potential goals here: easier onboarding, of course, consumer applications, which I think is a big one for Base if you use their app, on-chain activity, and ecosystem expansion. Base is about a lot more than trading, right? The vision includes social apps, creators, payments, and consumer crypto experiences. Basically like a WeChat for crypto, an all-encompassing crypto app. You're going to see, how fast they do it, how they do it, don't know, but you're going to see things like X try to do the exact same thing, right? Core insight: Base may represent an attempt to make Ethereum unstable or usable. Why did I say unstable? Base may represent an attempt to make Ethereum usable at a much larger scale. Scaling has been one of the big issues for Ethereum, and it seems like it's getting fixed. And then again here, you may not know this, but Base originally launched using Optimism's OP Stack, the same open source infrastructure behind Optimism ecosystem. And that matters because long-term vision isn't just a bunch of separate Ethereum layer 2s competing in isolation. The idea behind the Superchain is shared infrastructure, multiple layer 2 networks using similar technology so they can eventually become more interoperable, more connected, and easier for users and developers to move across. Did Filthy ever do anything? Nope. He must not have too many people's ears on social media, right? And that is the usual rundown of the beginning of our show. And it is 9:50. We're rolling into about an hour and a half, hour and 40 minutes of being live here. And of course, there is a members only. And the members only starts anywhere from 10 to 10:30. There'll be a countdown. I'll definitely let you guys know. We found some interesting things to mess around with as of lately. Anything from this roller coin, where you got to play a game and you have a hash rate and you do earn some stuff, right? I haven't been doing a ton of it, right? But you earn some coins. I mean, let's see, I earned 0.001 XRP, earned a tiny bit of Dogecoin, a tiny bit of Tron. Like, you just kind of earn little bits of random coins. that you've heard of. Of course, they have some of their own coins here that are more affiliated with just them, like you would never have heard of other than the actual project. I think it's cool. Takes like 3 seconds. Why they're giving you the money, I don't actually know. According to Reliable J, you can actually cash out. So a lot of people don't get it. I mean, there was a couple people who were saying a thing or two the other day. It's like, we're always looking for opportunity. Now, you could wager if opportunity like this is worth your time or not worth your time. That's something that we can't say definitively across the board, because that's a very personal thing. Some people, for whatever reason, have a lot of time. Like, say you're a young kid, you're in high school. For some reason, you're watching this show, this could be worth it, because you're probably sitting around with a laptop or something in classrooms and things, like to play a 30-second game, keep your hash going, earn a little bit of this and that. You're a young kid. Tiny bit of money is a lot bigger to you than it would be a 35, 40-year-old adult. And all of those things. Also, a lot of times you're playing little phone games and stuff that do nothing but constantly try to get you to buy stuff. You see my point? So for some people, it's just about opportunity. Because I run the show, I'm just trying to present opportunities all the time, big or small. Another one of those is Sunflower. And I'm just kind of showing you what we've been into. We do a DeFi Friday stream every Friday about DeFi games. And there's a lot of interesting games out there, I'll be honest. I'm starting to see more and more good-looking games. This Sunflower Land, shout out to Reliable J again for bringing this across our radar. What do I really want to say about it is that there's real value here. I'm not going to go on a tangent and explain the game or all of that stuff. Flower is the actual crypto coin, right? They give you tons of metrics so you can see what's going on, right? Here's the estimated, value of one flower. It's about 8 cents, not horrible. But here in the market, you'll see these Pa-Aura. They're worth, $2,000, $2,100 on average here. And you have some other items that are worth well over $1,000. And then if you come to the message, you'll see, 21 hours ago, oh, these are people who reached 100, but they'll show you that people bought really expensive stuff. This person spent 11,500 flower in the market. And so you'll see that people buy. They buy this stuff. And there's a potential to earn money here, especially if you're like a young kid or just somebody who has a lot of time. Maybe you're not a young kid. Maybe you're a much older person. And you sit in the morning and you drink coffee on your lanai, as a lot of older people do. In my business, a lot of times I work for a lot of older people, so I get it. And so basically what I'm saying is they could have something running and they could be, earning a little bit of income just in this DeFi world. And there's other opportunities for sure. Like when we go into the social, casino type things that have crypto, you cash out in XRP, you send money in crypto, Bitcoin, Ethereum, XRP, and when you win money, but the platform itself will give you a free $1, or you can write into them. They'll give you a free $5 every time you write into them. Then you can use that free money to make money. We do it on the stream. That's in the members only stream, right? So you have to pay the $3.99 or the $2.99, the $3 a month to get the members only stream. But we do that over there, and sometimes we'll hit a bag for 50, 60, 100 bucks, and then I'll just go dump it into something that I like looking at. And so another big part of this stream for anybody who's new here is opportunity. We're always looking for opportunity, and of course some DeFi gaming, just having fun and hanging out with the community. Panzerdog is one that we've been looking at for a long time. It's on the Sweet ecosystem. I'm going to hit around real quick because I feel like we've been doing a lot of talking and a lot of raising that crypto IQ. After I play a round of Panzerdog here, we're going to go over and we're just going to look at some of the projects within the Base ecosystem. Now, as we move through the series this week, we're going to get a little bit deeper when it comes to looking at the Base ecosystem. We might even just run some long streams or just pull a couple of parts out so that we have more time to just literally go over the Base ecosystem. There's a lot of interesting stuff in the Base ecosystem. And we've done Base ecosystem before. We've touched on it. There's the big projects that are going to very much remain the same. But then there's new projects that are new that even I really don't know a lot about, even though I've been over the Base ecosystem many times. it's a fast-moving industry, right? It's a fast-moving technology and people trying to build with it. So there's always different things going on. So just because we've done, Ethereum or Base or any ecosystem, BNB, just because we've done it before in deep dives doesn't mean it's not relevant to do it again 3 months later. Or heck, even 2 months later. It actually just allows us to dial in a lot better and really look at things that are newer because we've done the bigger projects in the ecosystem before. And that's something that I definitely want to do. Tomorrow I want to touch on some of the big coins even today. And then we can start kind of niching out into the smaller, newer projects that I think are highly relevant and are going to matter kind of moving forward here. Knowledge is power. The more you know, that's the point of the show. Ooh. Can't have that. I need that. Let's go. Let's go. I need to hit that health. Bang. Let's see. I got to get top dog here. And of course, I love that this game is multiplayer and we play with people who are a part of this community as well. There we go. That's it. That's a wrap. So that's a lot of fun, but we are focusing on the base ecosystem. I do love to sit here and play this, and we have time for that. We do a lot more DeFi gaming and stuff in the members only stream as well. And you get a lot for the members only stream. In my opinion, for $3, I might want to raise that up a little bit at some point. Not soon, but at some point. Because you're getting, for the membership, you are getting custom emojis that I made, channel emojis. You're going to get more of that type of stuff, right? You get access to like videos and reels that I put out before they actually come out. They're members only first. So you get access to that. The members only live stream, right? So there's value as well. And then what else do you get? There's another thing you get as well that's not coming to my mind here. But anyways, we built a lot of value for $3. And we have a free Discord. It's linked in the chat. Hop into that free Discord. And if you haven't dropped a comment yet, drop a comment so we know who you are. We know that you're here hanging out with us. We would appreciate that. And shout out to all my undergrounders who come to almost every single stream. I can't tell you how much I appreciate you guys. The show is nothing without the viewers. That's how it goes. Melissa says, member for 4 months chat, right? Because when you're a member, oh, that's another thing. As a member, you get like it's like a super chat, but like you get like a free one. I don't know how often it is. I think it's like once a week or once a month or something. It says, hope everyone spent time to observe Memorial Day. Exactly. Hope everybody is enjoying Memorial Day. If you got somebody in your family who served, then it's good to have them over and make them some hamburgers or something. It's not a hard thing to do, guys. And if they don't live near you, just give them a call. Tell them you appreciate what they did, because if you've never gone through it, it's something else to go serve your country. Anyways, here is the base ecosystem according to the base native category over on CoinGecko. And each one of these, from CoinMarketCap, CryptoRank, CoinGecko, and the various other ones that are out there, they all have something that they are exceptionally good for. One of the things that I love about CoinGecko too, when you go to look at a coin, pick any coin, I love the way that they have the tokenomics set up. Is it because I'm used to it, or is it because they really did a good job? I don't know. But either way, I really love the tokenomics and the way that all that's set up and presented. And then as far as categories, I really love their categories. Better than other categories on, say, CryptoRank or CoinMarketCap. You won't see us use CoinMarketCap a lot. Anybody use CoinMarketCap often? And tell me what you like on CoinMarketCap. Like, is it the way that they set up the chart? Like, what is it that you like to look at on CoinMarketCap? Because I almost need a reason to use it, because between, CoinGecko and CryptoRank and even Blockworks that I've been using now, I don't really have a whole lot of reason to look at it. Anyways, of course, at the top, it's all by market cap, right? And so you're going to have a lot of stable coins and stuff like that. Chainlink always is in there. They're an oracle, so they're relevant, but they're highly interoperable. I mean, go to Chainlink and look at the contracts, right? Just go look at the contracts here, and it's a lot. Like, it's every chain, right? I mean, it's like literally every single chain. It's probably a good place to go to just find chains that you've never heard of to deep dive. That would be a really cool show idea, writing that down. Where do I want to write it now? So it's right over here. We'll see how this series goes this week. Maybe we want to do another week. I love the feedback, guys. Give me as much feedback as you got. By the time we get to maybe Wednesday, Thursday, you can tell me how much you'd like or don't like these style of shows where we focus on like an ecosystem. I have a feeling most people like them. And yeah, we're gonna have some giveaways on the channel and stuff too. So I got a lot of things coming. But yeah, that would be a cool series to do, to just go look at chains that are like probably pretty new that nobody's ever heard of. As we go down in the base ecosystem, not to get lost here, again, you're going to see a lot of wrapped assets, stable coins, big projects, Polkadot. Here's ICP, which I do hold a little bit of. Morpho, Aave, big financial, right? They've had some issues as of late. Rocket Pool for ETH. Venice token, of course, coming up on the radar, but we probably want to look at projects that you're not so familiar with. So as we're looking down, or anytime, feel free to drop something in the chat. Melissa says you get that basically a free super chat, right? Once a month. And for $3, I mean, I don't know how much you would expect out of them. It's basically a super chat that you don't actually have to pay for. And I don't know if we're gonna hit that goal on the super chats tonight. That's for sure. It says, I like the ecosystem thing you do. Okay, awesome. That's good feedback. I like to hear that. And of course, if anybody ever wants to say anything, drop it in the Discord and let me know. I do constantly look at the Discord, so I'm bound to see it. If you tag me in it at Underground, I'm far more likely to see it. Okay. So, anyways, I'd love to hear anybody's feedback. So we have this GHO. It's like the first one that stands out. Venice token, I don't think is really something we need to go over. Although I'm watching VVV, that's the ticker. Venice token is the name of the project, for a substantial pullback. Like if I could get it under $10, which I know might be pipe dreaming a little bit, right? Just a little bit. I would gladly. And if we dive to like 60,000, 55,000 for BTC, 50,000. High chance that I probably could get some VVV under $10 a coin. And if they are as good of a project as I keep hearing from everybody, real use case, then it's going to go back up in the bull market, right? So we got Ethereum contract, Gnosis chain, right? Avalanche, okay. Base. It's a stable coin, crypto-backed stable coin, base native. So GHO, oh, it's just a stable coin. Okay. Sorry about that, guys. I didn't mean to click on stable coin. I was thinking of like Ghost, which is a different project. I always think of that Ghostware project that Melissa was pretty excited about. I'm pretty sure she still holds. Where is that at nowadays, Melissa? Virtual protocol, and of course at first you just have really big projects, right? So we want to kind of keep going down, and we want to find the projects that are not so big. And you could go by market cap. I mean, even Rave DAO is considered in this, right? Okay, so River. And if you just look at the market cap, once we get under 100 million, that's where we start to really get somewhere here. So we got Horizon. You should know that. Privacy coin available on Coinbase. Good exposure. Never seems to really move a lot, but that doesn't mean that it can't. So value. I'm not familiar with that. Fluid, River, I mean, those are pretty self-explanatory. Anything that has like water and fluid, they're usually a liquidity-based project, right? Which are not super exciting to retail, but could be very exciting to institutions and things like that. So value is interesting. And this is where almost like, this is not like a super planned part of the show. We're just deep diving and researching together, and we will probably find stuff together. And so basically I'm just being curious here, and I don't even know what this is. I've heard of it before. We've gone over so 114.5 million. It says it's categories, DeFi, and analytics-based native. Let's go to the website. Oh, wow. So this is like a cookie.dao kind of thing. The way that it's set up really reminds me of it. So value also kind of reminds me of like Blockworks and stuff, just like an aggregated website with tons of data, which I love. I love this kind of stuff. I'm almost like a geek that never was a geek, that could have been a geek, but I'm not. I don't know. Maybe you guys think I am. Maybe I'm far geekier than you. Maybe I'm far less geekier than you. I don't know. But anyways, I do love to look at some data and have good places to look at certain things. So we got news feeds, indexes. One thing that I'll say about this is, okay, so how do we wind up on it? Because it's a project, it has a coin, it has a ticker, right? When you're looking at this website, the website could be amazing, right? You might love the website, but does that mean the coin's gonna do well? You know, if CryptoRank has a coin, if CoinMarketCap had a coin, if CoinGecko had a coin, would they do really well? I'm assuming they don't, because I don't remember ever seeing coins for those, right? Which I think is a smart move on their part, because what's the point of having a coin unless, like a lot of projects, they have some advanced data and analytics that you have to hold so much of the coin basically to get access to, as we saw with Cookie DAO and stuff like that. If you're lost and you don't know what I'm talking about, I do apologize. I guess you got to raise that crypto IQ, you know. Been here for a little bit in this space. He says, you're more techie than geeky in my humble opinion. Hey, I appreciate you saying that. It's actually, I didn't think of that, but you're right. That is a good way to say it. Because I'm not really super geeky, but I do love tech and stuff like that. Yeah, I still hold Ghostware. It's scrubbing the bottom of the barrel like most coins out here. Exactly, and can you really feel any type of way about it when almost all the coins are doing the same thing? A lot of times what I've done, what was the one, that Anoma, is I just went and threw it like another $5 in at the very bottom, because why not? I've already bought the project, I'm already holding it, I'm already gonna hold. I probably bought, I don't know, $100 worth of it at one point. I don't know what it's worth now, but it's not amazing. And that's what it looks like when you're buying in the bear market. So no shame there. You have to have a long-term goal, in my opinion. That's for me. That's my thoughts here. And then if you get really bottom barrel, instead of just sitting there and staring at it, I wouldn't go crazy, but I'd throw $5 or $10 more in. You almost get more than what you bought for $100, and now you've doubled your bag at the bottom. And now if it runs, you're like, you know, if you're already in it for $100, and I'm just talking out loud, we're just hanging out. It's kind of the underground hangout part of the show before we move to the members only part of the show. And basically, if you're already in for $100, and for like $5 or $10 more, you can double your bag at the bottom. I'd rather go down with the ship and it never pump for $110 with the possibility of really coming out on top than to just hold that $100 there, wait for it to go back up. You see what I mean? Like, it's almost too lucrative to not do. Anyways, that's so. It seemed like a very analytical thing. It had a lot going on. Like, even here's Blockworks, you know, it has a ton of data and stuff like that, especially when you get off of the main, you go to like analytics, analytic dashboard. Just showing this off for a minute because it's what it's reminding me of. And you could get totally lost over here. Like, this could be a whole stream like by itself, right? And again, we could stream all day 24/7 with the amount of information that we have here. That was so. We keep coming down. Synthetics, SNX. I also think it's really interesting that this category is called base native, and then they throw a bunch of things in here that are not base native at all. Like, they're not native to this chain. They're all over the place, right? Like SNX. So Coinbase wrapped XRP, a CBXRP. I've never heard of this. It's a wrapped asset, so it doesn't really surprise me at all, but it is a wrapped asset. but I've just never seen that. Reserve right has 102 million. Let's take a look at this. I've heard of this before. Less than a penny, 282 by market cap. Max chart says token generation event of May 22nd, 2019. Been around a really long time. It is DeFi world, real world asset made in the US, base native. Was base even around into 2019? I don't know. The whole base native thing's kind of throwing me off because like native to me means like it originated on base or it's exclusively on base, right? The website looks cool. Hold your share of the world's wealth in reserve. Reserves let you buy entire portfolios in a single token. I like the idea. It's an index, right? CoinMarketCap 20 index DTF is a liquid index token powered by reserves that track the top 20 cryptocurrencies by market cap capitalization as ranked CoinMarketCap, right? So they're going off of CoinMarketCap, top 20, and that's what you're built here. So it's like, I mean, they give you exact numbers here, right? 72% BTC, 11% Ethereum, and I mean, you could technically build these portfolios yourself, right? You could just take a certain amount of money and buy these things like this, right? But they kind of do it for you. It's very interesting. Everybody is a different type of investor coming from a different type of world, meaning like they were born in the 80s or they were born in the 90s, or you see what I mean? Like the world that they look at when it comes to investing and what's good and what's not is highly different depending on your age group. And then on top of that, you know, these type of things, indexes are more like TradFi, stock, that kind of thing. And so they probably be very comfortable. And it's not a horrible thing. It's basically like somebody built you a portfolio for you. It's basically what it is. They have some pretty cool ones. Here's like an alpha base index with Tibber as like the main one. It's just interesting. I like the way that they put these together. ETH Plus, and you can come in if you have big money and you didn't want to think about organizing a lot of this stuff. This is pretty cool. This is reserve.org. Okay, so now I'm understanding why it has 100 million in it. Reserve lets you buy entire portfolios as a single token. It's genius. It's not really new and revolutionary, but they've just taken an index type of thought, a TradFi type of thought, and they've just applied it to crypto, right? Which is bound to happen to everything in crypto, and vice versa. I think you're going to see a lot of DeFi stuff applied to TradFi. So they just merged together here. I don't think I really need to talk a ton more about it. Looks like here's the number one CoinMarketCap 20 index. I mean, do they change it though? Like when they move in market cap, if something falls from number 19 to 22 and back, do they constantly change it, or are you pretty locked in with what you got going on here? You must be pretty locked in. I do love that they have a wrapped BNB, because BNB has been shunned a lot of the time when it comes to a lot of these type of anything that's in America, for example, which I don't know where Reserve is based out of. But I like that they have wrapped BNB in there. That's cool. And I mean, most of it's Bitcoin, which would have done you really well. Like if you would have, at the bottom of the last bear market, bought something like this, you would have actually performed very well. So that I want to let that be lost on anybody who's like, oh, I just would rather buy, coin number 1,000 in the market cap and hope it goes up. Yeah, I have Dan as well. Always DCA. Yep. Yeah, exactly. Green Vigor says, sounds like the V2 of the mitigation strategy. Yeah, I mean, certainly. Hey, check out Home. It's a DeFi app or something. Okay, well, here it is. Definitely take a look at that. Kind of skipped Tibber, but we could come back to that. 88.6 million in market cap, or just say 88 in market cap. It's at 2 cents, moving, more towards like 2.5 cents right now. Number 310 by market cap, 10 billion max supply, only 3.8 billion in circulating. So basically 38%, you could say, vested. Only 38% of the coins are out. Talking for hours straight is more taxing than you would think. I don't know why. Maybe I'm just tired tonight. I've been drinking coffee like crazy. Long weekend. Let's see. DeFi app. Yep, it certainly is an app. Crypto's everything app. Somebody's grandma, and it's so easy. Even your grandma could do it in 45 seconds. I'm just narrating. I don't know. This is corny. This little, I mean, what they're saying is actually super important, right? They're saying it's so easy. Somebody's grandma could easily get in here and buy whatever. It's very true. Like it is easy, but so is a lot of things. Like Jupiter is just as easy here once you get your money there. It's funny. And they partner with Jupiter and Hyperliquid. Okay, so I like that they pull a lot of all that together. How long do you guys think it is before, like, just every liquidity provider in any chain or whatever, just all gonna be one giant conglomerate? And you won't even know if you're using Jupiter or, Morpho, or you won't have any idea. I don't know what all to say about it. I mean, it's very retail friendly. I'm sure they have like a back end use for like institutions and stuff, because it's too big of money to ignore. But yeah, I mean, it's a big giant swap basically. What is this? Earn experience rule DeFi. Okay. A lot of these projects are so similar. I don't know why it's like not loading. That it's like, we can say what they are, but I don't really know how to expand too much farther. What in the world is going on with my computer right now? But appreciate you giving us some direction, Melissa, and something that you want to look at. I got to get off of this website. It's like destroying my computer for some reason. It's not because I have a ton of tabs open. I'm sure that has nothing to do with it. And then you have this Ribita by Virtuals, Tibber. The Lifer has always said good things about it. He must understand something that I don't get. When I look at it, I think it's kind of lame. But he nails coins. And he hasn't talked about it in a while, right? But overall, it did really well. Like, it went all the way to, like, what was that? A high of, like, 47 cents. It's easier if I just go down here. 44 cents. Looks like an inverted head and shoulder here, and you're on that last shoulder. But BTC kind of is everything. So what is Tibber about? Tibber is a stealth launched, think of fair launch, stealth launch. I think these things are important to understand. So it's a stealth launched cryptocurrency project focused on improving efficiency and security in crypto and the AI sector. It is closely associated with Ribbit Capital, aka why it's Ribbit spelled backwards, a venture capital firm known for investing in innovative financial technologies. There you go. And stealth launch is not something you hear about a lot. I think that's kind of a cool idea. It gives them some uniqueness to their project, right? Yearn Finance, I mean, Yearn Finance is interesting because it always has like a really high price. You know that's off of tokenomics, right? Anytime you see a project with a big, like, the tokenomics has got to line up, or there's just an insane amount of money in it, right? But you can see Yearn Finance is able to have a very high, price with very little actual money in it. 88.7, call it almost 90 million in market cap. 36,000, right? Very interesting number that they chose here. Almost fully vested, right? So 36,000 and 35,700. Very little coins not out yet. Is it really the most amazing thing today? It's been out for a long time. Like, go to the max chart. All right, we're on the max chart. It came out in like 2020. It was a big deal because people saw the price and they saw it go up, you know, a lot. It came out around 1,000, no less than 1,000. Looks like it came out like around $800. So I mean, if you caught it at $800 and I mean, the amount of money you could have made. Look, I mean, just look at this, guys. Oh, this is the power of tokenomics, okay? Just want everybody to understand this. Here's the power of tokenomics on this project. It came out around $800. Say you bought it, you know, even down here for $5,000 or $6,000. This top right here is $43,000 per coin. Melissa says thank you, and I thank you greatly for the super chat. Sounds. Is my mic cut out? Nope, mic's good. We'll holler later. I gotta be up and on the road super early tomorrow AM. All right, Elio. I don't know why I want to call you Elio. L-O-O-O-Zo. Thanks for being here, as always, and I'll see you on the next one. Safe drives, get some sleep, my friend, and I will see you next time. Okay, anyway, so I was trying to say, you know, let's go down here. It's so much easier. All-time high, 90,000. I mean, you could have got this thing for, this is Bitcoin price, you know what I'm saying? You could have got this thing for $800. And even if you bought it for $5,000 or $6,000, it went to $90,000. It's bananas. But why did it do that? Tokenomics. I don't know how much more I could say that. I mean, in at $800, how do you not sell at $40,000? I have absolutely no idea. But if you bought one for $1,000 and you got out at 90, you crushed the game. Like, you absolutely crushed the game. Anyways, will things like that ever happen in crypto again? I don't know. Stick around to the deep dive show, and hopefully we can find these things together. I do believe amazing things will happen. From being around crypto so much, it's like they just happen. Like, you don't think they're gonna happen, and then they just happen. Like, look at Rave DAO. Rave DAO is a good example. And we'll kind of conclude this. We're going to continue this all week long. We'll be doing deep dive, and we're going to get into the much smaller projects, right? And I don't get why my computer is freezing. It's like, it's not freezing like it normally would if it was actually lagging or something. It's freezing like the feed is not good. Maybe you don't know what I'm talking about. I know I saw Rave DAO. There it is. But we've been watching a lot of projects do that. What was the one I was talking about recently that I keep saying has the vibe like it's going to do this? Same idea here. We'll just keep kind of zooming in. I mean, you were down at 31 cents. You had a top at $16. You dropped down to 10.80, and then you went to 22, and then the game was over. But my point is, like, this coin did nothing and was irrelevant and didn't matter until it did matter, and you had two tops and it was over, and then it didn't matter anymore. And this is kind of my point about all of crypto, is it's just like, you gotta focus. This is for me. I gotta focus, I gotta position, I gotta wait, and then I gotta be willing to sell when I'm up and not round trip. Much harder said than done. That's why you almost need a community and a place to be on a daily basis. Because if you just live in your own head day to day, emotionally swayed by everything that's going on, it might crush you at some point, and you might not make as good of moves as you could have made. And you're going to make mistakes, right? If you're new and you've only been around crypto for a very short period of time, just accept that you're going to make mistakes and don't beat yourself up too hard when it happens. It's the best advice I could give you, because you're going to make mistakes. And there's people who hold long terms, a lot of people who want to be day traders, right? They're not the same thing. Kind of got to know what you're doing and why you're here, what the point for you in crypto is. Is it long-term wealth? Is it because you believe in it long-term? Or are you here to make a quick buck and you want to buy the latest meme coin? I mean, no shame in whatever it is, just for yourself, know what it is. Let's see, is there a better crypto trend? I don't know. What is the best crypto hashtag on X? Almost seems like a question for Grok. Let's go ask Grok. What is the best hashtag to search overall the crypto niche on X? And voice to chat, guys, is amazing. Voice to chat, everything. Campsa says BTC making a tight flag. On what time frame, Campsa, are you looking at? 1 minute? Sounds like CB is about to do something shady. CB is... What is CB? Here, we'll come back to that in a second. And again, we could run this stream 24/7. At some point, it might dang near run 24/7. Alright, let's do CB. Cheeseball? Are we talking about cheeseball? Let me know. Also 15 minute. Okay. Camps is talking about the 15 and the 3. It looks kind of incomplete on the 15. Obviously, I'm projecting something totally different there. And you can play many different things inside many different things. Would very much grab this trend line. Sure. And what is that? That is a symmetrical triangle. 50-50 pattern, which like 50-50 pattern, although they normally break down according to the lifer, and I would say from me watching them, see how it's pointed down? It's not pointed up, so it's not an ascending triangle, it's rather a symmetrical or a descending triangle, right? You really want the ascending triangle for like the, as far as I understand, I'm not trying to say I know everything about trading, that's for sure. But from what I've learned, you really want the ascending triangle for a higher likelihood of the dump. Maybe you don't want it to dump. I don't particularly want it to dump unless I'm in the short. Otherwise, no thank you. And I do see, you know, shoulder, head, and shoulder. You see inverted shoulder, head, and shoulder. I would say this is probably more likely to pump than dump right this minute. That's just my personal feeling about it. But it looks like it's starting to dump. And you might be getting another shoulder here. See if you break 76,500 basically. There it goes. It does look like it's rolling over. And when I said it's more likely to pump, I just want to specify, I don't mean right this very second on this 3-minute candle. I just mean overall this pattern more likely to go back up towards the 200, get rejected at the 200, basically fill out a lot of this pattern and then dump. But who knows? It is Monday night. Melissa says Coinbase. Sounds like Coinbase is about to do something shady. Well, I don't know why you were saying that. Why were you saying that Coinbase would do something shady? Greenfinger said cheeseball. Yeah, I was pretty sure. I was very confident in myself that cheeseball was not the coin that Melissa was asking for here. And it turned out to be right. Blockworks is, again, I want to get into this more. We just rolled into 2 hours of streaming. We're going to swap over to the members only stream. We're going to hang out. We're going to have some fun. We're going to continue to deep dive. The members only stream, I'm building value there. I'm also always looking for opportunities that maybe fall slightly, or maybe more than slightly, outside of crypto, you know, centric, but opportunities that the average person be looking for nonetheless. And just any interest in DeFi gaming, all those kind of things, those fall into opportunities. So I want everybody to know, in the members only stream is the place. If you have something you really want to go hard on, you have something you really want to talk to the community about or me about, and you want to spend some time, like maybe you say, hey, I like this coin, I want to deep dive it. If you want an extended version, if you want like the heavy deep dive, the members only stream is where you're going to get that kind of time, right? So just want you to know that. So it looks like a short is what you're saying. I mean, we're projecting, right? Just to be clear here, we're projecting that the bigger pattern is going to give you a short. It doesn't have to. I mean, by all means here, you don't quite have turtle soup, right? Because you kind of need to bounce higher than these previous candles here. I guess you broke. No, you really didn't break them. Let's go into the 1 minute. Yeah, you really needed to break, like, I guess you did. You broke that one. You really, to break that one would be even better. Then you wait for the 786 retracement. I don't know. Either way, it's a really weird low liquidity week. It could do anything. But if I was watching this, I'd say inverted head and shoulder, right? You have probably, you know, some bear div all throughout this, but maybe go to a bigger time frame. It's like you're maybe getting the dolphin dip, or really just coming down and testing, you know, this type of support areas down here. And then I would think you'd go up on the smaller time frames. But that going up is mostly just to fill out the pattern here, right? Before the 200 comes in and you do eventually drop. So I'm saying short on a longer time frame, more like the 15 minutes setting up a short. But that's the whole point of projecting things in the first place, right? So let's pop back up to the 3 because the 1 minute's almost too dialed in. And that's the whole kind of power of projecting. I mean, again, what would we normally be looking at for a 1 minute? If this was reversed, we'd be looking for the 1 minute to cross the 200. Or sorry, I think it was the 15 minute. Yeah, to cross the 200, to flag out, right? To come in, the 21 to come into price action, maybe a bounce off the 200 or something like that, and then get the follow through. So I'm basically just using the same thing that we always say. It just, for some reason, it gets confusing to a lot of people when we apply it to the short versus the long. It makes so much sense on the long. Maybe it doesn't make near as much sense on the short. And you'll see, look how much, when you flip from, you know, an uptrend to a downtrend, you'll see I mean, this should be obvious, but maybe it's not. On an uptrend, a lot of times the 21 is where you're bouncing here. It doesn't really matter what time frame it's on. I don't have the back button here, so I'm really playing myself by making all these little circles. But then you have the complete opposite. As it becomes a downtrend, you have it just testing those areas, and that's where it gets rejected from. So if you're somebody who was, you know, catching longs in this scenario or shorts, it's kind of like, you know, you hopping along here, short down here, long, short. Now, of course, if you think you're going to be that calculated in and out, you're probably going to mess it up and get chopped out. But that's a different story for a different day. And then look at this. The basic measured move here is support and resistance, right? So that lines up. That's confluence for sure. I love when you have some confluence. And then you had like this nice cup and handle. Like started to play out, but you never really got. No idea why I have this ray up here. And I'm rambling on the charts. I blame Camsta. Oh, LO said he was having issues getting on the exchange. I didn't catch that. Oh, okay. Coinbase glitching out. Keeps telling me balance is temporary, unavailable. That happens from time to time. I know he's not here anymore. I totally missed those. I feel bad now. I've uninstalled and installed it back. It's not working. Don't stress. It'll be fine. What price we buying Cheeseball at? The bottom. I don't know. If you buy Cheeseball, you might be a Cheeseball. And let's roll to that 3 minute. and it didn't really get the follow through. I mean, as far as our pattern goes, it kind of fell out. Our pattern's very almost made up, to be completely honest with you. As far as this bottom trend line, it did not have a lot of touches. It looks a lot better on the 1 minute. I guess it did. And then if you look at the measured move for the head and shoulders, I mean, it basically did that, right? You just didn't get 100% of the move, and you still might. Like, you might boom right down to here to support. 1, 2, 3, 4 different times support, and that might hold you up. And then you have another support slightly under it. And I wouldn't be surprised if basically they go raid the liquidity at the bottom of this. Low liquidity, so you have a lot more liquidity raids, right? Stop loss hunting raids than usual. And, you know, a lot of people probably set under this wick. And then it comes down, boop, grabs it, and then shoots back to the top. The lower the liquidity, the more treachery, scam wicks, and things that you would think could happen. There you go. Dolphin dipped out of the pattern, back in the pattern. Says, love it, man. Teach me, sensei. Hey, I do the best that I can always. You can count on that. Cheeseball is the next hidden gem we're looking for. Y'all have talked about Cheeseball so much. Let's go look at Cheeseball for a minute. The funny thing is that I've actually talked about Cheeseball before. There it is. I was like, why is it not coming up? I've mentioned Cheeseball before. Let's see. I don't know why. Probably because I thought it was hilarious. Max Chart says came out like in 2024, October 6, 2024. So like not super recent, but not crazy old either. A ton of zeros, 4 zeros. Just shy of 1 billion circulating. So tokenomics are vested at least. I mean, that's all I can really say about that. $31.6 million in Cheeseball is crazy. There's a lot better projects that don't have that much money in it, so there's that. Website cheeseball.io. It's a pump.fun, obviously. Meme coin, nothing else really to it. Go to the website. Might be harmful, and we're done with that. I think that's the same thing I did the last time I was going to talk about it. It's some cheeseball little meme coin, right? All right, guys, we're going to switch over to the members only live stream. You have to have a membership in order to do that. Thank you, Melissa, for being a great mod always, but also for the super chat and everything that you do. Shout out to all my undergrounders. Thank you for being here. Of course, I always look forward to seeing you guys in the members only stream. Members only stream, I'm trying to build, more and more value as we go along and give you a stream that the members really want. It's very much for the members, right? But at the same time, you guys help me do that, so let me know what you really are looking for. Let's see, he says, have you ever deep dived the head and shoulders pattern? Yeah. He says it's actually a coin. Yeah. Oh, you didn't know it was an actual coin. Yeah, that's why I brought it up. Have you ever deep dived the head and shoulders pattern? Yeah, absolutely. And back tested and all that kind of stuff. It plays out a lot. The measured move of the head and shoulders, whether inverted or regular, is very accurate in my opinion. How accurate, I don't have a percentage for you right off the top of my head. It's usually something like 75-76% usually, but we'll see. I'm holding out for Snotball. There you go. All right, let me implement this here to the members only stream. And the members only stream, for how long it goes is kind of dependent on who comes over, what we're doing, all of that jazz. So it is going to start in 5 minutes. And if you have the members only, it should automatically switch you over. If for some reason it doesn't automatically switch you over, just go to the YouTube channel, go to live, and you will see the members only live stream. The Deadwood is waving. What's up? What's up? Welcome in. Welcome in. We're just switching over to our members only stream. You draw some very abstract head and shoulder patterns sometimes. Yeah, certainly. I mean, you have complex inverted head and shoulders. I get where you're coming from. Sometimes I'm talking about a literal, like, textbook's head and shoulder pattern. And sometimes I'm like, this is very head and shoulder pattern-esque, right? It's like, it's very close to something you might quickly look. Or I'll look at a chart and I'll be like, oh, that looks very head and shoulder-ish. That might not have any value to you, you know. Sometimes it kind of says, hey, this looks bearish, or hey, this looks a little bullish, just because you have something that's very close to it. Maybe you get what I'm saying, maybe you don't, maybe you don't. This is Yo Deadwood, what's up, welcome in, and about 4 minutes we're going to the members only stream, just for anybody who doesn't know. I don't know how you could not know at this point. All right, so what we do for the last couple minutes, I think we play Panzer Dogs real quick, hit around real quick. And yeah, I haven't seen Deadwoods in here in a long time. Shout out to you. Thanks for throwing a chat and letting us know that you're here. Been working 2 jobs, greens, sheet rocking and finishing, and started framing house too. There you go. Campsta says first time making it to the members only. Nice. It better be good. Oh, now he's trying to put the pressure on me. I mean, again, it's for the members, so, I mean, do you have anything to say? I can build some value, right? It is very hangout. It's supposed to be fun. It's supposed to be hangout. It's still supposed to be educational. But it's also supposed to be kind of, you know, exclusive for the people who paid to be there. So I don't want to dictate every little bit of what we are doing or aren't doing. But of course, if nobody says anything, I kind of have to pick something to go over. Getting a lot of follow through here on these kills, and it's some days it's going to be packed. The members only stream is going to be packed with just AI tools and stuff, and sometimes it's going to be a hangout for the people after the stream. But if somebody says, hey, I want to look at this, it can quickly go from an exclusive hangout with the members only to a complete deep dive. It can happen. Anything can happen in the members only stream. What happens in the members only stream stays in the members only. I'm just kidding. It's a joke. I don't care if people talk about what we're doing. We got 1 minute, 37 seconds here. And I mean, how much value do I really have to pack into the members only stream for $3 a month? $3 a month. How hard do I gotta wow you, Campsta? And I'm just making jokes. Don't take me too seriously here. Oh wait, I did get that, huh? Oh, I was about to put it on him. All right, 1 minute left. Says, have you been taking Joe with you? He's been doing construction lately. What's this says? I'm doing fine. Just pulling your leg. I'm sure it's fabulous. Hey, making me self-conscious, Campsta. I'm just messing with you. He is about 2,500 miles east of me. Maybe you just inspired him. Forcing, to get in shape with a free tan too. Hey, nothing like that trade work, right? And again, it should automatically move you over to the members only stream. Sometimes there's weird issues. Just go find the members only stream on the channel. Sometimes YouTube does things that are unexpected. So we got, looks like we got a rare something or other. Haven't got any cool gear in such a long time.